The Radio Wammo Breakfast.
Game junkie, Gerard Campbell.
The game is Little Big Planet 2 out on the PlayStation 3. Tell us all about it. What the heck is it? It is Gerard Campbell. Mr. Game Junkie, come on in.
Good morning. Good morning, Wammo.
One man, still games in the Quake City.
Exactly.
How have you managed to find the time, Gerard? While digging holes, shoveling silt, all that kind of stuff. You've managed to get some game time in there.
Dodging bricks.
Dodging bricks, yeah.
No, luckily, our home was luckily unscathed, but of course, working in the inner city, the current building is fairly much a write-off at the moment. So.
Indeed, the press building.
Yes, it is. Yes, I saw some nice photos in the paper this morning. It was a lot more serious than I expected. So.
Are you all going to be? Do you know where you're going to be congregating, or are you all sort of segregated, working from homes? And
a lot of people are working all over the place, but they have set up a temporary office space out at the printing site out at Logistics Drive near the airport, but there's not enough room for everybody. So it's a case of there's some portable buildings coming out, and they're going to relocate people to there. So they're suspecting we'll be out there for several months.
Crikey.
Possibility the city centre gets sort of redeveloped.
Well,
So
what
bit of upheaval.
What better excuse to work from home and get some extra game time in?
Oh, exactly right. What better excuse? None whatsoever.
Yeah. Now, this one, A Little Big Planet 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, well, of course, it's a sequel to the Little Big Planet, which featured that lovable little character, Sackboy, the little sackcloth-covered little character.
Yeah.
And essentially what it is it's one of those, it's a puzzle platform if you play through the story mode, like the first game was, but a big part of it is the creation aspect. There are a lot of tools there that you can create your own levels and situations, and then you can upload those to the Little Big Planet servers and then share them with the rest of the world. And there are literally thousands, probably millions by now, of levels for Little Big Planet 2 that people have already created, and some of them are really inventive. There's the tools on Little Big Planet 1 were powerful, but they were a bit finicky, and you had to sort of really work hard on them. But the creation tools here on Little Big Planet 2 are just fantastic. And there's people that are doing homages to to Back to the Future, and it's just a fun game. Where Sackboy has to this time, the first Little Big Planet, a lot of the levels were sort of made of, sort of cloth and materials and this, but this time it's a wee bit more high tech. There's a lot more electrified circuit boards and things, and bounce pads that Sackboy has to jump up and down, and there's this evil creature called the Negativitron, which is creating negative energy and thoughts around the world, and Sackboy has to fight, cupcake monsters and all sorts of fun stuff like that. So it's just a very creative, very fun, and excellent two-player co-op too. That's where most of the fun can be had.
Right. And so there is an actual storyline game, but then, as you say, there's all this creation aspect from the community itself. Yeah.
Well, there is. I mean, the story aspect is, it's you do these story modes, you have to save these people or save this or do whatever, and you go through platform levels essentially. You've got to avoid obstacles, and you've got to collect. You can collect bubbles which have stickers and other things which you can decorate your character with. New items of clothing that you can decorate Sackboy with, and also the starting point of the game is called Sackboy's Pod, and it's like a little spaceship that's up in space, and you can decorate that with stickers and that sort of thing. But I guess the joy of Little Big Planet 2 and what's going to give its longevity is, creating levels for it, creating levels with obstacles and bounce pads and bits and pieces that you can actually, essentially, if you can imagine it, you should be able to create it. It may take you a bit of time, but if you can create some sort of fun, fantastical sort of level, then,
perhaps
the tools are there.
Perhaps you could rebuild Christchurch CBD and Little Big Planet 2 first.
Yes. Would I have to keep the heritage buildings though?
Well, that's a good question there, Gerard. It's a very good question indeed. Have you had a go at the level planner at all?
I have, just very basic, and it's fairly easy in the fact that you can. It uses a menu called a pop-it menu, which means you press, I think from memory, it's a square and this little balloon pops up on Sackboy, and then you can scroll through all the items that you've collected. So there'll be things ranging from wheels and shapes and bits and pieces, and you can just drop them onto the world, and then you can stick them together, and you can sort of tie them together, and you can add sort of interesting bits and features, and then you can actually play through the level yourself just to see how it's reacting.
Yeah, nice.
And I think if you've got a really creative mind, it's the world is your oyster here, and you can also use if you have a PlayStation Eye camera, you can actually capture images from that and then import those into the game as well.
Wow.
So you could have stickers of your favourite cat, your cat's face or something.
That's really advanced.
Yeah, it's really good. So, I mean, it's a very Little Big Planet and Little Big Planet 2 are very creative. They're very, Little Big Planet was the first, I guess, Sony game that came with the sort of play, create, share sort of mentality where you play the game first and then you create levels and then you share it with the rest of the world. And any levels that you play, you can rate them, you can give them a smiley face or a frowny face, or you can comment on them, and so it's a really strong community atmosphere, and I think that's where it's going to succeed. So yeah, I mean, I think it's better than most sequels don't sort of do justice to the original, but Little Big Planet 2 actually improves on the first one. So
right.
Yeah, it's thumbs up from me.
PlayStation 3 it is, Little Big Planet 2. Gerard is back blogging over at the technology section at stuff.co.nz, and you can also find him tweeting in between games at twitter.com/GameJunkieNZ. We'll catch you next week.
Indeed, will do. Thank you, Wammo.